Panthers Lightning, Mario. Let's talk about it. The Tampa Bay Lightning will be advancing to the second round of the playoffs. They won 4-0 against the Florida Panthers. They won this series in 6 games. So congratulations to them. They will be facing the winner of the series between the Carolina Hurricanes and Nashville Predators. That series isn't over yet, so whoever wins that series, that's who the Lightning will be facing. But let's get to the stats real quick, Mario. I'll start off with the Lightning, since pretty much 4-0, pretty much almost all the scoring stats are going to be on the Lightning side. I'll start off with Steven Stamkos. He had himself a goal, an assist, and 3 shots on goal, so he did a good job. Alex Kilron, Braden Point, and Patrick Maroon, they all had themselves a goal, so shout out to them. Kucherov had himself 2 assists, and same thing with Eric Cernak. They also had 2 assists. They both had 2 assists, so they did a good job with that. Victor Hedman and Tyler Johnson both had assists, and Andrew Vasilevsky, Mario, saved all 29 of those of the shots made by the Florida Panthers, so he did a really good job back there at the net. Now let me go to the goalie from the Florida Panthers, Spencer Knight. He did not have a good game, Mario. He saved 20 out of 23 shots made. Now that fourth goal was an empty net shot, so he only let 3 goals in, which isn't bad, but still, again, like I said with Tristan Jarry, this was just the worst possible time to have a bad game. And if you're wondering what the save percentage is, it's 87. So let me get to the box stats. Florida Panthers had 29 shots on goal, and the Lightning only had 24. So they didn't really have to be all that aggressive with on offense. Face-off percentage, the Florida Panthers had 53.1%, and the Lightning had 46.9%, basically 47%. Power plays, the Panthers had 2 of them, had 2 power plays, did not make 1, and the Lightning made 1 out of 3 of their power plays. Penalty minutes, the Panthers had 6, the Lightning had 4. The hits wise, the Lightning had 32, and the Panthers had 27. Blocks wise, the Lightning had 13, the Panthers had 12. Giveaways, both teams had 5, and takeaways, Lightning had 8, and Panthers had 4. So when I look at this, Mario, obviously, like I said before about Spencer Knight with the Panthers, this was just the worst possible time to have a bad game. Same situation with what I talked about with Tristan Jarry. It just was the worst possible time to have yourself a bad game, because this was a game 6. This was go big or go home. That's what you needed to do, and you just didn't. Same thing with the power plays. They weren't doing all that well with power plays this series, and I feel like that's another thing that cost them. One thing I will say though, they had enough shots on goals. They won their face-off percentage, but again, that didn't matter because you didn't get a goal in, and I think that's another thing that cost them. They had 29 shots on goals. They could have at least made 1 of those in. You know what I mean? And you just didn't. You didn't capitalize on that. You didn't work harder to change the game plan, and that cost them at the end. And that's just what happens when you don't come prepared. Our teachers tell us this stuff. As for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Mario, they did a good job, but there are a couple of things that I will point to. One thing is the power plays. Even though they made 1 out of 3, still got to do a little bit better with that. Shots on goal, I say be a little bit more aggressive. But overall, they didn't really have to this game, given they won this game 4-0. So it is acceptable in this situation. But in other situations where you're facing teams that are just as good, if not better than you, you got to be a little bit more aggressive. As for faceoffs, Mario, they got to win their faceoffs too. Which again, I'll let that slide for this game, because again, not only did they win this game, but they won the series. But you can't be doing this. You can't be doing this against other teams. So they got to do a little bit better with that. I will give them one thing though. Their penalty minutes went down drastically, so I got to give them a lot of credit for that. No, I think at one point they had like 43 penalty minutes in one single game. Like, that's just absolutely unacceptable. Some teams don't even have 20 or even 30-minute penalty minutes in an entire series, let alone one game. So I do give them credit for that. Most games their penalty minutes was in the double digits. So the fact that it was only 4 minutes this game, I do give them credit for that. That was one of my complaints about the Lightning. They were getting too many penalties. But overall, Mario, the Lightning played a really good series. They did a really good job. They are the defending champions after all, so we do expect that out of them. So I do wish them the best of luck. Again, they face whoever wins between the Hurricanes and Predators. So I imagine that series is not too far. That second round series will start. sometime over the weekend or maybe on Memorial Day. Who knows? But I do wish them the best of luck regardless. And as for the Florida Panthers, same deal. Best of luck to you guys in the offseason and just try again next year. That's the best thing I can say.
Look, man, I don't usually do this when we talk about NHL games. I don't even need to refer to the stats. I know Panthers didn't have a chance to win this game. Let me tell you why, okay? I'll point to the stats just to prove my point, but let me explain, okay? First of all, Vasilevsky saved everything. Credit to him, okay? But the other thing is this. I said this millions and millions of times, Nate, during this series. The Lightning have something called a three-headed monster, okay? That three-headed monster, all three were involved and more. Stamkos had a goal. Braden Point had a goal and an assist. And not only that, Nate, I'm sorry, no, Stamkos had a goal and assist, and Braden Point had a goal. My bad, I got those two mixed up. But not only that, Kucherov had 2 assists. So you got that whole three-headed monster was involved. And not only that, Victor Hedman got involved too. Okay, let me explain something, Nate, okay? Kucherov played more of like a supporting cast member to the stars of the show, which were Stamkos and Point, okay? Let me explain this, Nate. Kucherov had 7 assists in this entire series. Victor Hedman had 8. Stamkos had 3 goals. Point had 4. And then you go to other guys like Killorn. He had 4 as well. I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence, Nate. You did not stop this three-headed monster. In the process of that, you couldn't get nothing done. Now, let me point to stats and just to prove to you that they had no chance. Okay, ready? You outshot them. Okay, cool. 29-24. 53.1% from faceoff compared to 46.9. Okay? Let's suppose you do make 2 out of 2 of your penalties, okay? You're still down 3-2. You know what that means? You had to empty your net anyway. You know what I'm saying? They would have still been down 3-2. Most likely, in the third period, they would have emptied their net anyway, and it wouldn't have mattered. Correct? So let's suppose they would have lost 4-2 if that was the case, okay? Let's go to penalty minutes, 6 compared to 4. All right, fine. They out-hit you 32-27. Okay, let's suppose you had even hits. Does that guarantee you a goal? No. All right. They each had 5 giveaways, and the Lightning had 8 takeaways compared to the Florida Panthers 4. These stats that I'm reading that the Lightning slightly have an advantage over the Panthers in, it wouldn't have mattered because it was such a slight advantage. You get what I'm saying? That you can't say, oh, well, if the Panthers had 8 takeaways and the Lightning had 4, they would have had 4 goals and beat them. No, that's not the case. Okay, you can't guarantee that they would have had goals on those 4 takeaways. It's not that. It was a very slim chance that they would have had that. But the point here I'm trying to make is, Nate, the one thing that the Panthers were doing wrong this entire series is they did not stop that three-headed monster. You still let them get involved. And whoever the next team is to face them, I believe it's the winner of the Hurricanes and Predators.
Correct.
You need to stop that three-headed monster. Okay? A lot of teams only have 1 head. You point to like Connor McDavid on the Oilers. That was 1 head. You point to like Sidney Crosby on the Penguins. There's 1 right there. You point to Jordan Staal on the Hurricanes. There's 1 head right. They have 3, Nate. Kucherov, Stamkos, or Braden Point. Either one of them could be a star in a different team. That's how powerful this team is. And that's why I'm saying I would not be surprised if this team made it back to the Stanley Cup. Am I a big fan of this team? No. For obvious reasons in general. We are called the Columbus Blue Jackets the past 2 years. Besides this one, you've been a pain. You've been a thorn in our ASS. Simple as that. Okay, that's why I'm not a big fan of the Lightning. But I gotta respect the fact that they are a very, very talented team. Very talented, and they got guys who can pick it up and have a big impact on the game as well. You look at Killorn. You look at Victor Hedman. Hang on a second. Sorelli is a good player. Andre Palat. They have a very, very good team. David Savard, again, he used to be a Blue Jacket. Sergachev, a good player. So, and obviously they got one of the best goalies in the game in Vasilevsky. So it's going to be a very hard team to beat. But the first thing you got to do is stop that three-headed monster. And Kucherov, Stamkos, and Point. You stop them, and you have a much higher chance of winning this game because those 3 are not involved. Simple as that. So with that being said, again, congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning on advancing to the second round. As for the Florida Panthers, best of luck to you guys in the offseason. And again, we'll see what happens in the second round with the Lightning, depending on whether it's the Carolina Hurricanes or the Nashville Predators.